More than 15 years ago, an experiment was carried out by Dr. Dewars that showcases the emotional reaction of a capuchin monkey when confronted with an unequal pay for equal work amongst other capuchin monkeys. The monkey was awarded with a cucumber for performing a certain task, but then the other neighboring monkey was awarded with a tastier grape, which actually led to a very huge reaction with the one who was awarded a cucumber. The goal of this experiment was actually to study how monkeys act in group and how it can create a very huge extension to how humans actually behave in the society when it comes to the idea of unequal pay. Today, I would actually be talking about the inequality when it comes to the idea of pay in the workplace and trying to put yourself in a position of where you can be able to leverage on this to get something better now or in future. A lot of people will have actually had the feeling of, oh, I'm seeing my colleague actually put in the same effort as me, but he's highly paid more than me. We're going to be talking about how this is absolutely normal and also what you should be able to do rather than actually being pissed off and trying to make some actions out of aggression, and also putting yourself in a position of wanting to leverage on optimizing yourself as much as possible in order for you to show what you're worth, either at where you're working or if you're going to be moving to somewhere else. So stay tuned while I get to share with you and give you my final conclusions afterwards on what you should actually do when you fall into such a kind of scenario. One of the first things I believe you should be able to optimize is knowing how to strategically manage your funds. It's very, very important, because if you can't be able to manage this little amount you have currently, you keep on like thinking you need more, and it's absolutely crazy. You need to strip yourself away from an external pressure. You need to figure out how you can be able to even culture yourself to manage the funds that you have inside of you. There's nothing wrong about wanting more, but it is important to put yourself in a position of avoiding being too extremely envious, because it creates a very, very big detriment for you to actually be illogical and unstrategic about how you should actually become like this individual you're envious about. So it's very, very important for you to put yourself in a position to just avoid so extremely, and create a space for what you should actually do better. The idea of managing your funds goes a long way on how you can be strategic enough to avoid the point of status symbol. It is very, very important. And one problem about oppressed people, especially people who act like this monkey, is if you cannot understand true freedom, you actually surround yourself with the symbol of freedom, which on a very good note, it will create an opportunity that when you even have the high income that you're looking for, you begin to get unnecessary things that are not worth it for you, just for you to feel among or feel like you have the latest stuff. It doesn't make any sense. So figure out how you can be able to avoid this idea of the status symbol, and it would create a transition for you to even have true peace, and it gives you an opportunity to be insatiable desire for peace itself, rather than actually feeling like the peace can actually come from like having a higher income or whatnot. Yes, it could be part of it, but you need to be conscious of it and try as much as possible to figure out the components of how you can be able to manage the funds, on the point of saving, on the point of spending, on the point of cutting down your cost, on the point of leveraging on the idea that you are actually living within your means is one of the most important things you should do. Because if you can't be able to manage the funds that you have currently and how to strategically do it, some people just feel like it's just all about money coming into them, and they just use the money anyhow they feel like, and the only way they can actually solve their problem is by looking for more. In as much as it is not a bad thing, it's also important to figure out how to be able to be strategic. Another thing to notice is to look inwardly at your soft skills, because at the moment right now you're actually producing the same output, only that you are paid less. But also look at the point of your soft skills, because it could just be on the basis of the fact that one reason why they are paying one person over the other is just because of the fact that the other person has an advantage of speaking more and presenting himself more to, let's say, the outer part of the company, rather than you who is just inward and just performing the same output to an extent. So it literally means that you guys are not necessarily giving the same output. The other person is giving internally the same input as you, but also giving externally outside the company, just to represent the company to an extent. So figure out if it's your level of communication that really matters when it comes to the aspect of speaking with another organization. Some people are at the point of like when they come into the company, they are paid more. They just got into the company and you're just there. So you figure out how you can be able to leverage on like asking for an increase, figuring out how to increase your pay, like what you are doing better. Let them know the disadvantage of you leaving the company and all those stuff. In further videos, we'll be talking about how you can actually be able to ask for a raise in your organization, and if you can ask for a raise, what to do, and all those stuff like that. Or if they don't answer you, what you can be able to do. It's very, very important too. The idea of collaboration, communication, critical thinking, problem solving, what you've been able to do over time in trying to make sure that the company is at its best to an extent. You need to figure out all those soft skills that actually improve the stance of the company, not just having the hard skills alone. So compare yourself and give yourself the opportunity to figure out what you are doing differently. So once you figure out where you're lacking behind in your soft skill, have the opportunity to use what you have currently to invest in your soft skill. Figure out what you are not doing that your colleagues are doing that keeps them ahead of you, and that ability to even be paid more. Invest in how you can actually be more collaborative. I believe there are courses on that. Invest in communication. Invest in how you can be able to have a higher critical thinking as relative to your hard skills and all those stuff like that. So figure out how you can be able to invest in it. You have to be strategic in trying to figure out where you can invest in. If you want to go for seminars, go for personality training and all those stuff like that, emotional intelligence. Invest in yourself as much as possible. Watch YouTube videos on tone. There are platforms that gives you ability to actually increase your level of charisma in the society, and gives you an opportunity to gain command when it comes to the aspect of your speaking. So it's important you get to have the ability to do that. You just get to have this healthy mindset of comparison when it comes to getting to improve yourself much more better. So, and this has nothing to do with the point of you being an introvert or an extrovert. You have to actually come to that breaking point where you've decided you want to actually earn more. So you have to put yourself in a position of doing whatever it takes to actually earn more. Once you discover that your hard and soft skills are absolutely equivalent to your colleague who is being paid more, then it's important to actually go to the court of public opinion, which is actually the salary scale that can give you an opportunity to know what the salary scale of that role is, or that position is. The best way to measure fairness is to actually look at information that are publicly available as regarding company roles and stages. It gives you a better opportunity to make better decisions rather than being pissed off and angry about the situation of you being financially left behind when it comes to the aspect of pay rise. Before the compensation data actually became available, people always compared themselves to friends or compared themselves to people in other industries, and comparing others at different companies at different sectors. Now that this data is actually available, it gives us an opportunity to make better decisions of what next to do in the organization, either asking for a higher pay in the company or moving to another company where you can actually be paid according to the public compensation pay. So that gives you an opportunity to make better decisions in the situation. Thank you for watching this video. I really do appreciate you actually spending time to watch my videos. I'm happy because of the fact that we now have like more than 150 subscribers. Do well to join us by liking this video and subscribing to my channel, and click the notification bells for more interesting videos like this. I really do appreciate you. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and also GitHub, just to get to view my codes actually. So stay tuned for my next video. I really appreciate you. Peace out. Thank you.